Hey, what's up, sports bettors? It's Matt here with OddsJam. I just hammered some pretty awesome college football bets that I found on OddsJam using the OddsJam Positive Expected Value software. I hammered three of them, NCAAF Week 6 bets. I think they're really good. They're on OddsJam, so I figured we would chat about them. Of course, using OddsJam is where you can find betting opportunities that you are gaining the edge by placing these bets on the sportsbook. Whenever there is some sort of pricing discrepancy between a bunch of different books, one of them is going to be incorrect. That's just how things work. If one book has something priced at minus 105, another book has it priced at minus 118, one of those books is incorrect. And the cool thing about having a tool, having the software, a powerful tool, can't say that word, like OddsJam, is it does all the work for you, and then it provides you with the opportunities in which you are getting some sort of pricing discrepancy and in some sort of inherent value because of it. So this first play here, I really wanted to put 2 units on it, which is rare for me. I normally I cap things at a unit, but this play was so good, I wanted to put 2 units on it. It was the Virginia Tech versus Pittsburgh under 44.5, but BetMGM has me limited. I tried to put 200. They said, sorry, we will let you get $5.13. Upsetting the world we live in. But it's a really, really good bet. So for those of you at home who are able to get 2 units on it, that is what I would recommend putting on this play. Virginia Tech versus Pittsburgh, again, under 44.5. Number one, it's an arbitrage opportunity, right? We see BetMGM have it at minus 105. We see DraftKings have it at plus 110. Right off the bat, we know that one of those books is priced incorrectly. If you can get an under at minus 105, you can get an over at plus 110. One of those books is wrong. One of those books has this priced incorrectly. And thanks to using OddsJam, using the positive expected value software, we know that that book is BetMGM. The reason why we know that is just look at all of the odds compared to what BetMGM offers it at. You can get it at BetMGM at minus 105. DraftKings has that at minus 140. BetRivers, minus 127. FoxBet, minus 120. Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, at minus 118. Every other book has it at a minimum 13 cents higher than what BetMGM has it at minus 105. And another thing that I like to do with totals is if you click this in a new tab, view the event page in a new tab, it pulls up where every book prices this total at in general. And let's just look at the main lines for all of these books. 44, looks like Pinnacle has this total at 44. Looks like most of the other books, Betfred, PointsBet, FanDuel, DraftKings, BetRivers, BetOnline, another sharp book, has this at 43.5, a full point lower than what we got it at 44.5. And then Caesars, and looks like Caesars has it at 43, a full 1.5 lower than what we got it at. And 44 is a low total for college football. It's a pretty low total. So beating the closing line by half a point, by a point, by a 1.5, that's a really big deal with totals as low as 44.5. This would be low for an NFL game, let alone college football. So I know it probably doesn't seem like a lot. You're like, oh, congrats, you beat the total by half a point, whatever, a full point. But I can guarantee you this total lands, it's 23-21. Pittsburgh wins 23-21. Lands at exactly 44. This bet will have pushed. These bets will have lost. And the only book that you could have bet the main line on at 44.5 is the only bet that would have won, minus 105 at BetMGM. Very, very important to beat the closing line in situations like this. So that's why I thought this one was worthy of a full unit play. I would have loved, 2 units, a 2-unit play. You can also see the EV percent at 2.38%, at 4.38%. If I was able to get the 2 units, $200 on this one, I would have just made a little under like $8 and $0.80, something like that. I would have made a pretty decent amount on this one individual bet. And I know, like, just right off the top, $8.80 doesn't sound like a lot. But when you consider the fact that this is only one bet, and you consider the fact that this will be realized on Saturday, you don't have to wait a year or longer like most investments. You can literally get this return on Saturday. You start to see how valuable it is with these plays. So this is the first one, 2 units on Virginia Tech versus Pittsburgh under 44.5. The next 2 plays I put a unit on. The first one of which is Ball State versus Central Michigan, over 62.5 at -120 on FoxBet. So this one has been locked in, as you can see here. Over 62.5, Ball State versus Central Michigan. Same logic here, right? Like, I don't want to beat the drum. I put a unit on this one. So for those of you at home, 2 units on the first one, 1 unit on this one. Over 62.5, -120 on FoxBet. So we had to buy a point or half a point on this one, but just compare it to the rest of the betting market. -145, -137, -144. Best odds, we got it at -120. Average odds, -137. Pretty big outlier compared to the FoxBet line, to even the closest line, which was Bet Rivers at -137. Excuse me, I got so excited and knocked my headphones out. So this one I really like. I put a unit on it. So for those of you at home, we just made $8.80 on this one. Guess what? We just made $3 on this one. We have now made $11.80 on these 3 bets. The no vig line prices this at -128. So the gap between these 2 numbers, that's where you get your value from. Same thing here on the first one. No vig at -115. We locked it in at -105. Just an insane value. The last play for this college football slate that I locked in, again on FoxBet, Tulsa -4.5 at -110 odds against Navy. Same logic here. I don't want to beat the drum, but look at this. -110 on FoxBet. Average odds -123. PointsBet -130. DraftKings -135. Bet Rivers -125. Pinnacle -121. Another thing that I like about this one specifically, so FoxBet prices this -110 each way, right? The over at -110, the under at -110. Or I guess I should say Tulsa -4.5 at -110, Navy +4.5 at -110. Every other book that prices this spread at -4.5 is telling you that they think that the Tulsa side of it is the more likely scenario. -130 versus -105, favoring Tulsa. -135 versus +105, favoring Tulsa. -125 versus +104, favoring Tulsa. Same thing with Pinnacle Sportsbook, -121 versus +103. All of these sportsbooks are saying we think that the more likely scenario is that Tulsa covers this 4.5 point spread. So we are going to make it more expensive to buy. We're not going to offer it at the same rate the only FoxBet is offering it at, with a pretty decent difference between all the sportsbooks. So this one has an EV percent of $1.84. So add that to the $11.80 we just made, and what we just made, $12.60, something like that, $13.60, something like that. Quick math at the top of my head. Just on 3 bets. I would imagine over the course of an NFL Sunday, a college football Saturday, you're placing 20 bets, 25, 30. Maybe your unit size is bigger than 100, which is for me. So this $13 that we just made turns into $100 possibly, depending on how many bets you're placing. So it just shows you the power of positive EV betting and how much you can make doing so. So that's going to be it. Those are going to be my 3 plays to confirm. Tulsa -4.5, Ball State versus Central Michigan over 62.5, and Virginia Tech versus Pittsburgh under 44.5, 2 units specifically on that one. And that's it. So hopefully, if you guys are tailing these bets, would love to hear it. Hit me up. Comment on the video, let me know. But that's it. So appreciate you guys watching, and have a good one.